Welcome to Connecting Greeks, a streaming comedy show and podcast designed to explore and enhance Greek culture around the world. Join hosts Angelo, Adi, and Foti as they bring you fun and interesting guests from all walks of Greek life. Grab a cafedaki and join us.
Hey everyone, welcome to Connecting Greeks podcast. It's been a minute, but we are back. We wrangled Angelo down, we got him back on the show, and we have an amazing guest today. A very interesting story. I think everybody out there is going to like it. Before we get there, let me introduce my co-host, Foti Stamos. What's up, Foti?
Yeah, so Ari, and you know what? It's been a minute, like you mentioned. We couldn't find Angelo. I went to Greece. I couldn't find him. But you know what? Here he is, somewhere in the ocean that he'll let us know where he's at.
And everybody, here he is, Angelo. What's up, Angelo?
Well, you know, Foti, it's nice. Me and Ari have real jobs where the rich Greeks like you get to go to Greece all summer. So
it's called R&D. It's called R&D.
Yeah.
I know Kalim knows this and Kalim knows that. Hi, guys. Good to be back here, guys. Yeah, it's been busy. Everybody's been busy lately, and it's good to be back. Connecting Greeks podcast. We got tons of people watching, and today's guest is a friend of mine. And here's the thing about Demetri. I always run into him. I could be at the Greek Film Festival. It could be at an event. This is an interesting story. My wife is a huge country western fan. And when I first met Demetri, his name says it, Demetri Thomas. You can't get more Greek and country than that. He's played the Viper Room, the Troubadour, the Gardenia in LA,
Wow.
legendary places. Welcome to the show. Big welcome for our friend today, Demetri Thomas. Demetri, welcome to Connecting Greeks.
Thank you so much.
Demetri.
Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Right now, Demetri, here's the thing. My daddy's from Texas. Fucking love that video. The guys haven't seen it. You have a little bit of comedy in it. I love the way it starts.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of unassuming. For people there, you're going to check him out on YouTube and stuff after Ari puts all the stuff up. And when I met you, I go, my wife is a huge Garth Brooks fan. And it's an interesting collaboration because the fact that you're also Greek, and if you listen to most traditional Greek songs, a lot of them sound like traditional country songs. You know, like as somebody's wife's leaving them, or there's always there's always that thing.
I was just going to ask you to sing some of these songs that you're mentioning.
Yeah. But the thing is, and I love your videos. I know you work hard, you tour, you're always around LA. Tell us a story, like what got you into the singing part, because it's an interesting story how you got into it.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to answer that. Well, I was a former child actor. My father died when I was 10 years old of lung cancer, and my mom was trying to keep me busy so I wouldn't be all, down and depressed and stuff. So she took me. She knew I was a singer. She knew I had a singing gift. So she took me for voice lessons with a very well-known vocal coach named Richard Loring, who worked with a lot of big people like Johnny Mathis and Jack Jones, all those old guys.
Whitney Houston
too as well. And he just taught me how to, interpret song and, approach it the simple way, kind of like a Mr. Miyagi of voice teachers. And he was an amazing man, and he mentored me throughout my developmental years and stuff like that. And then just by going for voice lessons every week, he was a composer too, and I was constantly exposed to his songs, his style of teaching and music just all the time. And my mom used to take me and my sister to the Hollywood Bowl and the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion just to expose us to music constantly, all the time. So my mom, Elaine Thomas, God rest her soul, she was such a good mom, exposing me to music from a very young age. And I was an actor. I was an actor throughout my high school years. I was in the performing arts department at Beverly Hills High School. And then when I graduated, I had an epiphany. I said, I don't want to be an actor very much. I'm getting back acting now, but at that time I was like, I don't know if I want to be an actor. I think I want to be a singer. I think that comes easy to me, and it's really intrinsic in my nature. Mm-hmm. So I started writing songs. So I learned how to write songs. My voice teacher took me to the National Academy of Songwriters. They gave me a little tape by a guy named Buddy Kaye, which is teaching how to write songs, and I just studied that tape. And then I also would do kind of my own little thing. I would study all the songs in the radio, just lock myself in the room and study the songs in the radio, buy my favorite artists and study their lyrics. It's just something that I would do to teach myself how to songwrite. I kept writing songs one after the other. And as I kept doing it, it just got better. But I was writing pop songs pretty much. And then in my 30s, it was just really strange. It was so weird. It was like all of a sudden I started writing country songs just by osmosis. I don't know how that happened. It was just, I started just by inspiration. I was writing country songs, and I don't know how it happened. It wasn't like anyone was teaching me. It's not like I went over to Nashville or anything like that. And so I was trying to figure out, well, why am I writing these songs? And that spurned the title, My Daddy's from Texas, because I knew my father was from Port Arthur, Texas. He was an oil engineer. And he also wanted to be a singer, but he took the practical route. And so I just started. I wrote that song, and ever since then I've just been writing country songs. And I have a lot of good collaborators that I work with, people in the LA area, people that are very well connected in the country circuit. And I love doing it. It makes me really happy to do it.
Well, it's interesting, Demetri, because when you think of Los Angeles, you think of course, Hollywood, huge country scene in LA, because there's a lot of fans. And when you always hear about country music is massive, like massive. When you look at the names and the people, I was watching this series on TV called George and Tammy. I don't know if you've seen it. George Jones and Tammy Wynette. It's Michael Shannon. And it's great because, I always loved the stories behind country music. When I was a waiter many moons ago in Ottawa, Canada, which is a big country town, I used to work at a place called the Hitching Post. And it was all country band. And sometimes, I don't know if you've seen this, the band be playing and then a fight would break out. And then the guys are singing and we break it up and get back. The way it's portrayed sometimes on television or in the movies. But to me, I find country music really harmonizes people's lives. And you've had a lot of stuff happen in your life. And the fact that you were a child actor and then went to Beverly Hills, you're actually 90210, if you think about it, right? He's 90210, guys. You're there. And then to do this,
Beverly Hills, the unsnobbed of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, it's got close. It's right there. I always think Beverly Hills 90210. But the thing is that you play some awesome rooms. You were doing a show. I missed it by a day. I think that new place, the cafe,
Hotel Cafe. Yeah,
Hotel Cafe.
I'm doing that again. When you have a date, I'll invite you.
For sure. And, I missed it. I was going to bring my wife. And like I said, I missed you by one day because I'm always somewhere, God knows where. But at the same time, it's like you play these great rooms and you're a great guy. We always run into each other and always talking, and especially in LA, which is, we have mutual friends like Patricia Cara, who's been a guest on the show, Ariana Savalas, Ariana Papalexopoulos. So you got a lot of people who we see each other at these events, and there is a little community in LA amongst Greek performers. And I say performers because we're all performing. But I have to ask you, because this is a question I've been dying to ask you. Have you ever had your heart broken and you wrote a song about it?
That's too much. 80% of the songs I write about, at least somehow, spurned on by a rejection or a breakup or something that didn't work out, and I've written maybe one or two songs of songs when you're really just like effervescently in love, but most of the time it's like some situation you're dealing with that's not working out, or some situation that you want to get better, or all that stuff. But I agree with you about the whole thing about why country is such a special, country music is so special, because it's the only genre where you can one of the only genres where you can write a beautiful melody and tell a great story, and it's appreciated and respected. And that's why I like writing country pop songs, because you can write really beautiful melodies and you can tell a good story, leave a good message, and makes an impact, and people respect it. That's why I like it. That's why I do it. Question
for you. Is country music popular in Greece? Because we had a guest on here, a friend of mine, Chairman George, he plays bouzouki and he sings in Mandarin. I don't know if you've ever seen this guy. And then we had him on our show, and they watched it. Everybody watches our podcast, and he ended up doing interviews in Greece, like on massive television in Greece. And I often wonder, because I see I personally see a lot of connection between Greek music and country music. And even some of the lyrics in My Daddy's from Texas, Boy That Eats Feta. Can you say, I mean, what's the lyric again? I think it's brilliant how you wrote that.
I've always dreamed of being a country star. Haters kept talking that I won't go far. They said, who's a stupid Greek boy who keeps stuffing feta in his mouth?
Now, yeah. And I thought that because that's country's honest, right? But I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, every other genre of music, especially the younger kids now will listen to like, Cardi B and all this kind of stuff. But I know in Canada, Greeks that love country because we kind of grew up closer to it, and it's music. But is it something that would be popular in Greece? And I don't know if you have, but have you ever thought of maybe writing a country song, maybe in Greek?
I've thought about that. I've also thought of translating one of mine.
Right.
And I'm probably going to be doing that. I've actually wanted to put bouzouki in one of my songs. There's a way you can do it where it sounds really cool. But I think Greeks, identify with their own people, and if there's an artist that's that people like and respect, and they're making good music, I really think that they appreciate country music as well. I don't think that there's any obstacle to them appreciating good country music. I think there's a lot of, I had a Greek guy staying in my house, and he was kind of joking around. He said, "Oh, I love you, busy to be Demetri. You make me want to go and have sex." But I was like, okay. But no, I think there's a market for it. Yeah, I think so.
For sure.
Isn't there like a root? Like, I kind of identify the old rebetika with like old blues, and then if you're connecting something to old blues, country is kind of like an offshoot. I think. I mean, I'm not sure, but I think it kind of has that root together. So, I mean, why wouldn't country be popular? I think it would be popular in Greece if they could appreciate that, like old blues, old rebetika, old like that really soulful, comes from the heart, comes from the pain, comes from all that stuff. So I don't see why they wouldn't. I think they would.
I definitely think they would, and I think that since my stuff kind of veers on to like a little bit of pop genre, it's definitely something that people can appreciate. It's not so down home honky that it won't get attention. People still really like it.
It's interesting because I'm a big Shania Twain fan as a Canadian. I think she's sexy. I think she's so talented. Now, when she popped into the scene, there was backlash from like the Puritans who are like, well, she's not really country, but she's super hot. And no, she's talented. She can sing, and she brought it out. And I think everything has an evolution. And I think the same with music. And being in a unique space, I think that's where artists excel. And then I think what happens is that, if you, like you said, you have this idea of maybe translating some of your songs. Like, I love My Daddy's from Texas. First, I love the title. Your father is from Texas. And then I like the fact that it's like, I'll equate it to this, if this makes any sense. You ever go to an Italian restaurant owned by Greeks? Everything's in Italian, but then there's a chicken souvlaki platter. So there's always a one dish. They're like, fuck you. It's Italian, but we're going to put a Greek dish in here. And I think you're so talented. And I think that maybe something like this, I think there's a generation of people now that are looking for something new like this. And you bring a lot of character in it. Because when I watch your videos, you can see where you thought it out, the process of it, you're at the bar eating, and everybody's looking around. You got these hot chicks.
No, I'm eating a gyro sandwich.
Of course, I saw that. You're eating a gyro, and I go, bless you, good for you. You're having a gyro, and they're all looking at like, what's the guy? What's he eating? It's not mesquite, it's not Tex-Mex. I'm having a gyro. You're having a gyro, and then you get up there, and then you belt it out, man. I mean, it's great, and I know you have a lot of videos. But here the thing is that, do you find now as an artist, like country music now, there's a lot of new, like what's the guy's name? Jelly Roll.
He's paved the way for guys like me, actually, because I'm not as big as he is, but I'm a little big, and
he's big.
He's paved the way for guys like myself. So I'm a big fan of Jelly Roll. I love
Jelly Roll. I like him, but now in Greek, what's Jelly Roll in Greek? What would we call? The Greek jelly roll. Migali turta. I don't know.
Lukumi.
No, the guy's, but he's good. Like, this guy's good. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think now we're starting to see, you can see it. I see it in comedy. I see it in cinema. I see it in music. And a lot of people are like, sometimes I don't want to call it a gimmick. I think it's just something, you're expressing who you are as a person, as an artist.
Well, you know what, Angelo, you're 100% right. And Demetri, I'm gonna direct this. I'm gonna ask your opinion on this. So years ago, we were involved with a Greek rap group, but they were American. They were Greek Americans, and they just started rapping in Greek. And 90% of the people were like, "What the hell is this crap?" And literally within like 6 months, man, that blew up. And now, if you look in Greece, hip hop is like the biggest genre. Right. But based on that, I think that, and I don't want to say novelty because it's not novelty, but for Greeks, it could be like this. The introduction could be like a novelty thing because you're a Greek American, you sing like an American genre. That, just in the marketing sense, that could be like a novelty that could hit big, and you could be like that trendsetter. I would talk to management and marketing and be like, "Yo, hook it up like over there," because I saw it happen in person with the whole hip hop thing, and it's huge now. So imagine what the possibilities are with music that comes from the heart. Like we said, I could almost kind of connect it to like Older Betica or something like that, but with that kind of American style, but Greek American style with a little Greek. I mean, I don't know the whole process, but I would never not say that this could be something that becomes huge. I mean, it could definitely.
If I can add to that, Ari, what you're mentioning, and Angelo, if you see what's happening today in the music scene in Greece, there's a lot of international performers that are performing on stage in Greece of different genres, right? Like that. I think there's definitely the opportunity, if it's not there already, to actually have country come to Greece because of it.
Yeah.
Love country. What do you think, Demetri? I mean, because the Greeks, one thing about the Greeks, they love to go out, they love it. And if it's something, I'm going to Greece next month, and stand-up comedy, you know, when I first went to Greece, it was still, they didn't see it the way we saw it in North America. And then now it's caught on. You got, you know, a lot of Greek comedians now. Now they're starting.
You need somebody to start that trend, like you with a stand-up, with these guys we used to hang out with the rapping. I mean, Demetri could be the guy that could bring that country sound.
I think so. He's the guy.
I'm happy to do it.
You'd be the guy to do it, Demetri. So, Demetri, let me ask you, in LA, when you're out in LA, because, you know, I haven't been there lately, so I don't know what's really going on. You know, it's been tough times in Hollywood right now. As you know, the film industry we had a writer's strike, we had an actor's strike, we had a director's strike. Now the voice guys are in strike, IATSE, and everything seems to have moved out of LA. Unfortunately, Atlanta, Vancouver, Toronto, and now there's a lot of productions that are even being done in Greece now because of the tax credits. Do you find when you're gigging now, are you still able to get a lot of gigs working in LA, or do you find you have to go interstate or out of state for doing shows?
Well, I'm hiring a booking guy for some future shows out of state, but it's not a problem doing shows as long as you have a decent following and you have the capacity to get people to your show, which I definitely do since I'm in that whole Greek connection. I use that to my advantage.
Yes.
The whole Greek family thing, and I've also got a lady Greek promoter who is going to be promoting my shows too, along with my own promotions. So I'm looking forward to the next show. So I think it's going to be really amazing.
So how important? We're a good example of this right now. How important is it now? And I've talked to Forti and Adi about this many times. I want your opinion. How important is it now? Because I get tired of social media, and I understand it's a big component. Even the show, we have to put it up. Ari works tirelessly to set it up. He's an expert at it, and then we have to, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. But people don't realize it's a daily thing. Like we're over inundated with so much. How big of a component is it for you? Like, I mean, because you can't just post every 2 or 3 weeks now. It's sort of like out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. Do you find, Demetri, it's the same thing? Like if we're doing an event, I'm always in my brain, I'm like, okay, I wait. Like this morning I woke up, had my coffee. I'm on a ship somewhere, Studio Ultimana, Tamtum Maimudes, wherever that place is. Remember what is Tamtum Maimudes anyway? I don't know where that, my mom used to say it. Somewhere the monkeys in Alaska or something. I don't know. But I get up every day with my coffee and I look, okay, what do I got to promote? I got a show in LA. We're trying to promote the show for the kids. I got one in Windsor, Dallas. I got a European tour. Then I try to make it interesting. Do you have a ritual that you use when you're doing your stuff? If you have shows coming up, like what do you do for that?
Coming up, I do social media like stories and posts, and then I do my word of mouth advertising technique, which I use. And as long as you're not texting people at 3 a.m., you're doing a great job. The word of mouth, especially in the Greek community, it just gets spread pretty quickly, and then you get a lot of people coming to your show. The last show, Gardenia, they had to tell people to leave, because they had a lot of people there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm really excited, I just think I think social media is very significant to do that, but I think sometimes people maybe they don't see how their own, just their own ability to just do the work themselves by talking to people and generating,
the buzz.
Works as well. So yeah, I think I do both. I do both.
That's good, because a lot, every day there's a lot of new singers, comedians, and actors, and maybe it's a generational thing, but I think a lot of people now are looking for a shortcut. And, COVID provided that for a lot of people because people were at home and had nothing to do. So we had a lot of downtime to watch people online, which was a good thing. So you'll notice, but I find now I got people saying, hey, can you hook me up with your manager? Can you hook me up? And I'm always like, look, there's a quote, to have talent is a gift. The gift is nothing without the work. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people, and I say, look, you got to grind it out. Like you do, you got to do shows. You got to put word of mouth. And I think sometimes what happens is that I understand people get frustrated, and because we live in a technology age now, it seems to me, guys, I don't know, Forti and Adia, you think about it. I think sometimes people want instant. Like I just started singing songs for 6 months. I want to headline the Gardenia or the Viper Room. The Viper Room's legendary because, and I know you play there a lot, but you need to earn it, right? So, I mean, do you find that with nowadays, with most people, it's like they want to, I guess maybe use the word famous. They want to be famous, or they want to be, but they don't want to put the work in.
That is totally the truth. Basically, I have a major work ethic with my songwriting and my recording, and then, of course, then doing shows. And, I spent, a lot of time doing my music project with producer Costa Luis. A lot of people know who he is.
Yeah.
And we worked really hard on that project, and we busted our asses to get the right musicians in there and to do a good job. And I think, you were cracking jokes about the term malaka, it's like a lot of people want to be famous, but I would be the first to admit it's a really hard thing to attain. You have to work hard at it and put forth the work, and then something fruit will be bared from that eventually. You just got to keep persevering.
Like I tell people, you want to get in show business, look in the mirror and say no 1,000 times to yourself, because that's what you're going to hear. But you gotta love. You gotta love. I know you love what you do. You love creating. You love singing songs, and that's the biggest part of it. I've always said this to people: if you're looking for instant dollars, don't do this. You're better to be a veterinarian, an accountant, a hedge fund manager. This is not what you want to do. You really got to love this. You got to love it to the point where people look at you going, are you sure you want to do this? I mean, you got to love it beyond that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a key thing right nowadays. And I think that's why most guests that we bring on the show, including yourself, are passionate about what they do. And I always tell people, so your dad's American, right? And
was American, and he was but completely Greek, 100% Greek.
Greek American
from Texas, from Port Arthur, Texas, and he studied to be an oil engineer in Texas, and then he met my mother at a HEPA convention in Chicago.
There you go.
Fell in love. He was in love with her, and they migrated to Los Angeles because my dad got a job out here from the same company he was working with in Dallas.
Right.
And then the company went bankrupt, and then he ended up becoming the deputy assessor of all the oil wells of Los Angeles County. So I used to go around with my father and see all the oil wells just to kind of check out the oil wells with him. That's
wow.
My dad. Yeah.
Do you find from your memories, Demetri, and I think I know the answer to this, you have the Greek work ethic?
Well, I do, only because, my dad used to use the kutala, when I went. And I also went to a strict Catholic school. My parents sent me to a Catholic school, and I think they were a little bit too extreme. But going to that, having that strong, disciplined background in
right,
and kind of spilled over into the the music. But I'm very right brain. I mean, I don't. My whole creative process is very right brain. It's just, I mean, I had to apply myself to write and do all the other things that I do. But I agree. Work ethic is super duper important, my friend.
Got to do it, man. You got to do it every day. So, Demetri, what's coming up for you now? Future projects that you're going to be doing that we can be aware of, and we let our listeners know what you're going to be doing soon.
Well, I'm in the studio right now. I got a new song coming out. I'm not at liberty to say what the title is called, but it's based on the Proverbs 31:10-31, the wife of noble character, a reflection of the most ideal woman or a wife or mate, and it's beautiful. And I can tell you what the title is called. The Mother of My Children, and
so we're breaking it on Connecting Greeks.
Yeah. And it's gonna be coming out in about a month.
Nice. The Mother of My Children.
Yeah, and I'll be definitely performing that at the next show. It's a beautiful song, and it's I'm really proud of it. Yeah, and then of course,
for you,
new show probably I'll be doing next couple months, and got that promoter getting all the Greeks to come to the show, so the venue will be very happy, and and then of course I also on a film level. I also wrote a script called Greek Town. I'm trying to get off the ground myself as well. It's a cross between My Big Fat Greek Wedding and Swimming with Sharks. Trying to get some songs.
I like the name Greek Town.
Yeah. So I'm working on that. And then, of course, I wrote a couple songs for the film. So hoping to get that off the ground hopefully soon as well.
That's good. Maybe you need a big comedian in your series at Greek Town.
Yeah.
That guy.
All the Greeks. It's
you got all the people. You want to make friends really fast in LA? Go to St. Sophia and tell them you have a script.
But yes, they're trying to talk to who they'll never talk to.
Yeah, and then but you have to make sure there's money attached because that's how it works in LA. Well, you have money attached. Okay, let's talk.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get all his guys and then approach the big guy.
That's it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, look, Demetri, it's been a total pleasure having you on the show. We're gonna Ari is gonna be putting all your details on website where people can find you and everything like that.
Yeah, cool.
But before we finish, I hand it over with the guys here because we're a team effort here. We're like the Three Stooges of Greek podcasting.
That should have been our podcast name, the Greek Three Stooges.
Forty has a couple of questions that we do. We do it with every guest just to get to know you better. So, Forty,
you have to unmute Fotios.
Sorry, gentlemen.
I think Forty's hammered. I think right now, Adi.
Oh man,
What these hammered? Are we on a podcast?
It's been
Hey, we're here. We're talking to Demetri.
I love your background. It's amazing.
it's been a while. So drinking on the podcast.
Boozer Jamboree.
Foti forgot how to podcast.
Footie's having a boozer jamboree by himself in Boston.
I'm enjoying this moment right now because it's been a while, Angelo.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you, buddy. Look at us. We're parea. We're having parea here. We're with Demetri.
Oh man, we need to do it more often.
Yes.
So Demetri, very very inspiring. I'm sure we all know like Greeks, friends of ours that are in Texas, that are in that southern part of the country that always captures our interest about what goes on in the southern parts of the U.S. with Greeks, right? I hear about great restaurants that are happening in Texas. I hear about festivals that are like beyond the amount of like interest that happens in the rest of the world and the rest of the country.
Yeah. Well, I went with my sister to Austin once, and she was looking at some real estate, and we saw some nice restaurants. Went to a Greek festival. It was awesome. And I remember Dallas when I was a little kid.
Yep.
And that's when I primarily went to Texas. And then Port Arthur, of course, I went with my dad when I was a kid, like around 8 years old. So I have very fond memories of going there.
And gentlemen, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't like the climate in Texas more suitable for Greeks than it is where we're from, Canada, the Northeast? But
probably
is more fitting.
I think so. Well, it depends on which part. But what happened here? So I just lost me for a sec. I don't know what happened. Okay. I think so. I think they're used to it because of the whole Greek climate. They're used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, Demetri, as the boys have mentioned, like in every episode, all of our guests, we're getting to know you from your background, your journey as a Greek American. But as Greeks, we always stick to our roots. And part of our roots is the questions we're about to ask, or I'm about to ask, as far as Demetri. When it comes to Greek food, right? I'm sure in Texas you have access to different like types of cuisines, whether it's local American, whether it's a fusion of Tex-Mex and so forth. But when it comes to Greek cuisine, right? Are you an octopus or calamari?
I'm an octopus guy.
Yeah.
Octopus guy.
Yeah, I like octopus. And of course,
how do you like it? Do you like it grilled? Do you like it in different variations?
I like it where it's not too hard to chew.
Yeah, rubbery.
Rubbery. Yeah.
And if you have Papa Christos, that might happen, but I'm not going to say anything bad about Papa Christos.
Yeah,
it's very good there. It's excellent. But I love the. Speaking about Papa Christos, I love the octopus there. So you should check it out over there as well. I love octopus. I do like calamari too, but I'm more like I like it more in like Italian restaurants and stuff like that. I like octopus.
All right.
Yeah.
Second question for you, Demetri. Now we'll move from from food to beverage. So iconically, Greeks have their own type of like libations when it comes to beverages. Are you an ouzo or Tsiporo fan?
I tried Siporo.
That's Greek moonshine.
I'm an ouzo fan. I have to be honest with you, because it's you gotta have a balance. You can't overdo it. Yeah,
I like ouzo.
Yeah, I like ouzo. I just had some at the Long Beach Greek Festival. I was there. Anyone else there? It was amazing. I like it. I like it straight up, neat. I don't like it with the when you put the ice in and all that.
It gets
Makes it milky. Makes it milky.
Yeah.
And the last question for you, Demetri, is as Greeks, we have different traditions. We grew up with our parents like instilling different like values and so forth. Are there any like sayings that you grew up as a kid that you still remember from your parents growing up as a kid? Like any Greek sayings that stick with you?
Yeah, I do, but I don't know how to say it in Greek.
All right,
Say it in English. Say it in English.
Out of the mouths of crazy man come wisdom.
Wait, say it again.
Out of the mouths of crazy, or I know another one in Greek, but out of the mouths of crazy men come wisdom. My mom's personal favorite, which was Pan Metron Ariston.
That's good.
That is a good one.
That's deep right there.
Yeah.
Hey, why you bobbing the place? Are you are you on a bouncing ball or something? Is your head?
It's like I'm watching it is like a fever dream. It's like
I know I'm getting like vertigo or something.
But those are good answers, Demetri, because I'm also a big fan of octopus, and I'm also a big fan of ouzo, and those sayings, whether they're in English or Greek, as Greeks, we all could kind of feel like where those sayings come from, and the elder generations that would pass them on. So yeah, those are good. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I got it from my papu in Chicago. And my papu passed it on to my mother.
Yeah.
And then we pass it on to our kids. That's the tradition.
That's it.
Yeah. I think, but I think that is one thing. I think, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I think, and I know you crack jokes about this a lot, Angelo. I think codependency runs rampant in the Greek culture. I'm sure you know that.
Big time.
And I've had to work really hard just in personal reflection and therapy to overcome those things and kind of be a healthier type of Greek, if you know what I'm saying. But when I go to Saint Sophia and I see the Panagia stretching her hands out and right, on top of Jesus, I'm like, this is like the healthiest lady I've ever seen. She's so healthy, and that's my goal, is to be healthy like that.
That's awesome.
That's true. Well, thanks for coming on today, Demetri.
You're welcome. I felt very blessed to be here. It was awesome.
Like we said before, Demetri, I mean, I really think, what you're doing is awesome. Like we said, you doing the real world face-to-face promotions, but also using social media to your advantage is really cool. As a web tech guy, you have a unique space. So, you get into those algorithms, they're going to push you all over the place because, it's not a common thing to be a Greek and a country singer and have those roots. So it's pretty unique. So yeah, definitely keep doing what you're doing. And from everything that we know and everything we've experienced, man, I think there is a place for you to promote yourself to the Greeks in Greece. I really, really do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Yeah. So keep doing what you're doing, and we just want to thank you so much for being with us, for telling us, a little bit of your story, as much as the time allows. But very fascinating, very interesting. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys, so much.
And I just want to say thank you to everybody out there for watching and listening. If you don't know Demetri, check out the liner notes. We're going to have all his links, everything where you could follow him, see him, videos, events, everything. So please do that because he's really good and such a unique thing to be within our Greek community and do what he's doing. So check him out and support him. And thanks everybody out there for watching, listening. Thank you as always, Foti, head bopping Foti. And thank you, Angelo, man. We miss you, guy.
Miss you guys.
All right. Thank you, Demetri, once again.
Take care, guys. Bye, Demetri. Bye, Foti. Bye, Adi. Bye-bye.
Thanks everybody out there. We'll see you next time.